Hey, it's Midnight Raven, and today I want to show you an app. So I'm not being paid to show this app. I have shown you this app before, but it's an app called Questions in a Box. So you can get it on your Android tablet, or you can get it, I believe, on iPhones, and I'm not quite sure about how far the reach is. So Questions in a Box, I have done this before on my channel. It must be, I don't know, I'd love to say it was a year ago that I did this. So what Questions in a Box is it's basically different types of questions, and in the categories you have different questions that you can ask your friends, your family, use it as a conversation starter or an icebreaker, if you'd like to call it that. So basically, the app comes like this, and it has 4 different sections. So we have We Just Met, Acquaintances, Good Friends, or The Big Picture. So this is basically like just meeting somebody, people you know fairly well, really good friends. And the big questions are ones that are like hard-hitting ones, like politics, the world, and really, really, really strong, influential questions that you may not just ask somebody that you just met. So what I did last time is I started with the We Just Met, and I did a series where I did all 4 and did a series on each of them, and I think I'm going to start that again because a lot of people like that. You can also answer these questions down below. You can also comment down below with your answers, and I do read every single comment that I get, and I do reply to every single one. Amazingly, I do. I have 1.6k followers, but I do love to reply to as many as possible. So today we're going to do the art of conversation, and we're going to do We Just Met. So, question 1. If it loads. Here we go. We just met. What is the first thing to do on a Saturday morning? What's your favourite thing to do on a Saturday morning? So my favourite thing to do on a Saturday morning is to have a lie-in, because I do get up for my son every day of the week, bang on 7 o'clock for school. So Saturday for me is kind of lie-in day, kind of not. I do like to have a slight lay-in, but then I do love to utilise my Saturdays by spending time with my boys while they're at home. Obviously, my eldest is at college, my youngest is at school, and it is a good day to spend with my partner because he used to work Sundays and be off Saturdays, but now he's changed. So Sundays now is my day of fun, and Saturday is just a normal day. Question 2. What would your dream vacation be like? So I'm actually going on holiday in like 3 weeks' time, and my vacation is... So my dream vacation for me, as I'm going in a couple of weeks, would be a vacation where everything is kind of planned but not planned. So I like a holiday where you have ideas of what you'd like to be doing, but nothing is like set in stone or strategically planned. I love a holiday where you just have the freedom to just come and go as you please and do what you like, but also make time for resting as well as having fun. I find that when you go on a holiday, you have so much energy and you want to be doing this, 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 and this. And really, I just want to be having a rest. I might differ to other people, but I do love my peace and quiet. I do like to sit there and just do a crossword, or just look out and watch the ocean waves and just have a bit of peace. You know, in my day-to-day life, there isn't a lot of noise, but I do find that when I go on holiday, I do like a bit of calm. So we're going glamping, and we're going to a caravan park, yes, but we're going off season, so it shouldn't be as busy. Question 3. What is the best job that you have ever had? Well, I've had a couple of jobs in my life, and I must say that possibly the most rewarding job would be working in the care home for people with dementia. The most fun job I've ever had, I would say, was working in the early learning centre, which if you live in the UK, is a toy shop. And I had so much fun working there, and I got on with all the staff. But for the best job would probably be the toy shop, but then the most rewarding job was working with the people in the dementia wing in a care home. That was upsetting at sometimes, but it also felt rewarding that you were helping people. So it was like a catch-22 situation. I really enjoyed the job, but it did pull on my heartstrings day to day. And I did leave eventually due to medical reasons. But if that hadn't have been the reason, I probably would have stayed. It can be a mentally draining job as well as a physical draining job. So I would say the toy shop was probably the best job I've ever had. Just for the sake of working with children, and just Christmas was just so much fun working there. You were literally like Santa's little helper to the parents who were pulling their hair out trying to find this limited edition toy that had only been on sale one day and already sold out, and oh my god. So next one, what is your favorite vacation spot? So I have been to the same vacation spot for many years, and I have spent about 30 years of my life going to Yarmouth. Great Yarmouth has become a tradition for me, started by my parents when I was about 2 or 3, and I've gone, I want to say, every year. I've stayed in caravans, hotels, I've stayed in B&Bs, I'm now staying in a glamping pod in Yarmouth, so I've had a varied amount of holidays, but I also have gone to Yorkshire, I've holidayed in Scotland, I've holidayed in Wales. I have been up and down the country. I haven't been south, so places like Cornwall or Southampton or anywhere along the bottom, Brighton, I haven't done, but I'd love to go downwards. I always seem to go upwards, but never down. I'd like to go to some of the lower parts of the country. Like I said, I have been to Yorkshire and Scotland. And Yarmouth has become my favourite spot. Most people don't like Yarmouth. It is a bit trashy and it is a bit, in your face, and it's just like another glorified Blackpool. But I like it. So the next one. If you could travel back in time, what year and place would you choose? Ooh, so if I could go back in time. It's a hard one. If I could go back in time to what year? I'd like to go back to the 70s. I'd love to see certain bands that were around back then, things like T-Rex. I'd love to have seen live. Other things, Elvis Presley was born in 77, died in 77, so the 70s were a good year for music. I think I'd love to have lived in the 70s. You had disco, you had glam rock. It was a year of free-loving hippies, kind of 60, 70 disco era. It was a really good time. A lot of goodness came out in the 70s. Yes, you had things like drugs, free love in the 60s and stuff that was still around in the 70s, but overall the 70s weren't a bad decade to live in. So I would probably say the 70s, sometime towards the middle, towards the end. Next question, question number 6. If you could meet anyone in history, who would it be? So I can meet anyone in history. Anyone in history. I wouldn't have minded of meeting Sweeney Todd. As bad as that sounds, would you like to meet a serial killer? Well, I mean, it depends what you class as a serial killer. We don't even know who like Sweeney Todd is. Literally just a character. But if you use him, you could say that he was no different to Jack the Ripper. He sought out a certain class of people, took his revenge or took his anger out on that particular class. So people like Jack the Ripper, Sweeney Todd, yes, they were serial killers. but I find them fascinating. Not that I'm like a obsessive serial killer fan, but serial killers do give me an intrigue into the psyche. I'm always interested in the psyche. Um, the reasons behind it. Were they born to kill? Were they made to kill? Did they grow up being completely different, or was that in their DNA? It's always fascinated me. Things like criminology and psychology and the whole, aspect of serial killers is fascinating to me, as bad as that sounds. Gonna get a lot of hate down there. Question 7. Are you planning, or do you just go with the flow? Do you plan, or do you go with the flow? Now, are you a planner, or do you go with the flow? I would say I plan some things. In the run up to Christmas, I will probably compose a list of what I need to get, where from, so that I'm not misusing my time. So if I know I can get certain items from one shop, then I will get certain items from one shop instead of going to different ones. If I want to go out near Christmas or Halloween or a busy time of the year, I might plan ahead, book tickets, organise travel. If it's a holiday, I might book it ahead of time. I booked this year's holiday 10 months ahead of time because it was cheaper. So I do plan, but once I'm actually on the holiday or on the trip, it kind of just goes with the flow. It's just getting the ticket, the booking it, and making sure that I can go is the planning part of it. That makes any sense. Comment down below to any of these questions if you are exactly the same as me. Question number 8. What is the one question that you wish you knew the answer to? Ooh, one question you wish you knew the answer to. I suppose everyone would say, what's the meaning of life? Is the question that everyone wants to know. It is a good question. It'll never be answered because there is no answer to why we're here. Wish you knew the answer to. I have no idea. What happened in the Bible to Jesus for the 30 years he was missing? That would be a good answer. That's also a question I wouldn't mind hearing. How come the Bible jumps 30 years and he basically doesn't have a middle-age crisis or a middle-aged life? He just goes from 18 to 30 and just jumps 30 years of his life. Who knows what he was up to? Was he helping people? Was he doing miracles? Was he, doing more of his carpentry? I don't know. Who knows what he was doing? But that would be a question that I'd be interested in. And 2 more questions. So question 9, what song in your music library gets played the most? So for me, that would be anything by T-Rex, by him, David Bowie. I do love nice, I want to say cheerful music. Okay, goth music isn't really cheerful. I do play things like Marilyn Manson quite a lot, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Green Day, Good Charlotte. I do have a lot of genres. Fall Out Boy. Yeah, a lot of different genres. Nothing really gets played repetitively. I like to vary my music. Like when we're in the car, we vary our music every day. We put a new disc in. So yeah, things that have a mellow, relaxing feel to them. I do love music that's just kind of flowy, not always glaring and in your face. But yeah, always got some kind of music on the go. And the last question, where did you grow up? Where did I grow up? Well, I grew up in a tiny little village called Morley St. Botolph. Now, doesn't that sound very English? It's a tiny little village, or it was, back in the day. It had about 1,000 people living there. It was a very small place. It's not anymore. It's actually grown quite a lot. And there was me, my mum, my dad, and my 2 sisters. And yeah, weren't a bad little house and weren't a bad little area. It had a shop that eventually closed down. like most little villages. I had a pub, I had a church. It did have a community centre, but it wasn't used very much. We did use the vicarage more than anything because we used to have summer camp at the vicarage and I used to help out. So that was fun, and I did that for many years while growing up. The school was nice. It was a nice little primary school, very quaint little school. Everyone knew everyone that went to that because we were all in the same village. So I made many friends and just had a somewhat happy childhood in this tiny little obscure village called Morley. So yeah. So if you like this video and you want to see me do the other three sections of this thing, like I said, it's called Questions in a Box. And like I said, it's got 4 different things. It's got We Just Met, Acquaintances, Good Friends, and the Big Picture. And you just go back into it and it will choose a different question. And it's really cool. You can actually share the questions as well on the app. You can actually share the question to a friend if you want to. You can give it a star as well if you like the question. And you can also make it a timed question as well if you want to have fun. So it's really, really cool. Like I said, you can share it. It's called Question in a Box. You can get it on Android. I've got it on my Android on my Play Store. So I like the app. I think it's a lot of fun. So if you want to see more videos like this and see me do the other 3 sections, give this video a big thumbs up. Remember, comment down below with your answers to these questions. I'd love to hear more about you and learn more about you. As you have done in this video, you've learned possibly more about me or possibly more than you want to know. So on your way out, give me a big thumbs up. Give me a cheeky little subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell because I do load videos every day. And I'll hopefully see you for another video very soon. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye.